Hello YouTube, this is Tanagra, and today I want to talk to you about languages in role-playing games. And I I had the idea for this video when I recently rewatched some scenes from Star Trek Next Generation, and I came across the Shaka when the walls fell scene. If you know what I mean, points to you. Anyway, this was a very clever use of languages that would work very well with role-playing games. It's basically using metaphors as a language, using cultural references as a language. And you can use that quite well, I think. I'll put something at the end of the video, and in the comments you can tell me what story I did, or what kind of story I did tell, or rather what you think I told you, or you can tell your own story. Let's see how that works. Anyway, my personal experience with languages in role-playing games is limited to one occasion, or rather two, actually, two. There's one where we had a map that was where the legend of the map was written in another script, which we didn't know. And over the course of the adventure, we began to learn the names of certain locations. And so, as it only was the same alphabet, we could begin to translate the map piece by piece until we finally got the information that helped us find the place we were looking for. That was interesting. Maybe it was a bit long drawn out at the moment. I don't know, it shouldn't be too complicated when you do it, because it's something that it's hard to do this with dice rolling, and when you have no clue, this can be rather frustrating, I think. But if it's fairly done, I think it can be quite enhancing. Also, this can be quite useful when you have someone who has a secret language which he uses to catalog his equipment or something. I think in the Dark Eye this is quite often used by the inadvertently evil magicians, or rather dead magicians, whose laboratory you are plundering. And the second one, the one that I originally wanted to talk about, the occasion where languages came into play, was in my fantasy Steam apocalypse setting, where the group of the characters came across this isolated group of people who had no contact for over I believe it was 50 years or so, and the people that had spawned this group originally had spoken another language than the characters that came there, and because very soon after the group arrived, the old people all died. They spoke very, very differently. So even if one of the characters had spoken that language, he probably still wouldn't have understood anything. So it was all hands and gestures and making signs in the sand and so on. And this actually worked to get some of the players who do not really interact that much with the wallflowers, if you want, to get into play, because this is something where sign language can be very, or is rather strongly, what's the word? Depends rather strongly on the interpretation by the people listening. And so, as you probably do not understand the same signs, unless you all went to military or something, as the other people around the table, probably each one of the players will understand some of your signs, but most likely not all. And so by this you include everyone. At least that was my experience. If you have also interesting experiences with languages in RPGs, please feel free to comment, post video responses, or whatever. Yeah. And now, let's hear the story.
Picard and Cisco at Deep Space Nine. Jack Shepard and John Locke. When the computer broke. The trumpets of Jericho. Jesus. When the Jews and Zacchaeus at Jericho. Hannibal crossing the Alps. Archimedes. When the Romans at Syracuse. Siddhartha Gautama after Rahula. Boomer at Kobol. Desmond Hume on the Elizabeth. Starbuck when the nukes hit. Benjamin Linus. The Doctor and the Master. Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.